Here, Bira Hayes adds a dynamic element to the Afro-block music on soprano sax, performing Summertime. Bahia's first Afro-block was Ile Aye, formed in 1974 and based in Liberdade, which means freedom. Liberdade is Salvador's biggest and first popular district. As a reaction against the blatant racism of many of the samba schools who either banned non-whites or only hired them as musicians or security guards, Ile Aye declared a policy of only admitting very black people, pinch black as the Bahians call it. It is the only Afro-block to have such a policy, which has served to alienate many people in Liberdade who are all shades of black and brown. The Afro-blocks were not the first black carnival groups, as the Afoxé, Blocos de Índio, and many samba schools were in the main black. Yet it is important to remember that until this time, the mainstream African elements of Brazilian culture had often been confined to ambiguous accounts of white, green slaves and gentle masters, as commonly described in the novels by Jorge Amado, Bahia's favourite son. With the advent of Ile Aye, parading in African Brazilian costumes, singing about different African nations, wearing African masks and carrying effigies, black people were for the first time given some concept of life before as well as after slavery. This newfound identity was a result of major changes in Bahian politics and economics. Rapid modernization and industrialization of the region allowed for an expansion in the state apparatus, thereby consolidating its power base, and brought Bahia into greater contact with the outside world. Migrations from the rural to the urban areas increased, as did the numbers and types of people visiting from abroad. Access to television and radio became more common, and African American culture began to permeate Bahian culture. The music of James Brown, Jimi Hendrix, the Jackson 5 gripped the imagination of young black people, who came to associate the music with the radical new ways of dancing and walking, dressing and hairstyling, all of which totally contradicted the previously accepted norms of how decent, clean living black people should look and behave. For the first time, black people in Brazil were getting self-styled and alternative positive images of how to be. And this was being reinforced by a greater political awareness with regard to the liberation struggles in Angola and Mozambique, who, like Brazil, are two ex-Portuguese colonies. Proud to be black afros and black power hand signals became the order of the day. And now every year, Afro-blocks select an African nation as their carnival theme, writing songs about its history and making representative costumes and models. Many academics and anthropologists have sought to imply that this tradition is an understandable attempt by black people to offset the miserable life of a second-class citizen in Brazil, by alluding to a utopian Africa. This is not the case. While some songs do refer almost seductively to Africa, and even to the Afro-blocks themselves, many deal with historical accounts to counteract the no life before slavery routine, while others tell of the harsh realities of many people's lives in modern-day African states. This tradition is not only revolutionary in that it is a far cry from the established norms of carnival themes, it is also both rational and pragmatic, serving a specific educative purpose, not to detail history necessarily, but to impart diverse images of different African cultures. As this new African element became more universally accepted in Brazil, it could hardly be ignored. The state once again took it in hand to control it, attempting to impose conformity on what is in fact a very diverse African heritage in Brazil. It has so far had little success with the Afro-blocks.